this person doesn't have 10, so they would probably draw, and they finally get their 3 that they were waiting for. So probably this person would lay these out. Here are their 2 sets of 3. They can add this on as an extra one, and then they can discard one of these. So maybe they're going to discard each person starts with 5 cards in their hand. And let's see what we're going to be able to do here. Whoops, this person got an extra one. They stuck together. We'll just put that in there. Okay, so in order to, and one of this gets flipped over. So use my 2. So